In the bottom side of the map, we have Mastro playing as Vesper. And Sedgehun decides to mirror and goes for the Vesper as well.
Hmm. Let's see. So Gilgamesh. Kind of funny that we keep seeing Vesper on it all the time.
I mean, she's just a very solid pick on the map. Like, there are lots of opportunities where, like, you want to just engage on your opponent, but, like, you know the counter attack is stronger. So,
Yeah, I think it's like it's about the mid-late game where it can be a little hard to push into your opponents. So
yeah. Because,
Vesper
like,
can somewhat get around that. I'm not gonna say fully.
and we have a Sergeant in the chat saying there's been 22 Vesper matches so far in the tournament.
Hmm. Well, I mean, there's been a lot of matches, so I don't know how to take that information.
True. But I imagine if you compare that to, like, let's say, Sigrid or Elodie, it's, yeah, Vesper, she's been a very common pick. We'll put it that way.
Hmm. Captures the hideout, and he says he's done map prep. I can't agree with that.
Oh. I mean,
Hmm.
you never know. Like, people can come up with some interesting new strats.
Hmm. I mean, looking at the board state, there's not gonna be any thief play for a while. Hmm.
And Sedgehun pushing, they're a little bit ahead as far as, like, commander positioning right now. So,
Alright,
they have, like, a nice little lead, but
so
obviously,
things to watch out for early on Gilgamesh is like these knights positioning to crit the corner village, like Mastro is doing right now. And Sedgehun's answer here to that was to hit the sword that will be capturing the village, so that later on you can have an easier time like taking it back. Mastro, not seeing any answer. I guess he's fine with just losing the village for now. Hmm. And
oh,
you were saying before I interrupted you.
oh, sorry, I've actually forgotten. But what we're seeing now, Sedgehun has the center position. Like, their commander is just, like, a little bit further ahead as far as the map goes. But that knight is actually going to put quite a bit of pressure onto Vesper. She's going to have to respond.
Hmm.
Oh, well, she's just going to use her own knight there and deal with it that way. And now Sedgehun has this dragon out, and
Yeah, and he has groove as well.
yeah, Mastro's
You
gone for, like, the witch response. And, like, there's two, like, big ways you can, well, two air responses you can do to a dragon. You can go witch and try to, like, zone the dragon out, or you can go for your own dragon and try to be, like, kind of aggressive, like, pick off, like, enemy units where you can and try and play the better dragon game.
Yep. But when you do that, generally the first dragon has more impact.
Yeah. And I guess, like, in a Vesper versus Vesper match. Oh, and are we just gonna see lethal?
I don't think so. There's a mountain.
Yeah, but there's
You
Vesper
know.
Groove.
Well, this is a Vesper mirror, and they both have groove. So, like, next turn is gonna be a Vesper groove from Mastro, and I think doing this favors, like, in this situation, this should favor Mastro, because Sedgehun is, like, basically the damage he did with his groove was only onto Vesper, I think. And now Mastro can, like, gain positional advantage with his defensive groove, like he's doing right now.
Yeah, but there's no actual damage coming out here.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really any damage from either side, really.
Yeah, I guess
But
the main difference is that Sedgehun forced the groove to be used at like a situation where it wouldn't get much more value. And
Yep.
because he grooved first, that does technically put him at a slight advantage because he's going to build up for the next groove quicker.
I guess if you want to build for the next groove, then the argument goes that way. But right now, Mastro, like, not sure he's gonna be able to do much with the position he has. But there's always the potential of like Vesper, the second Vesper, um, basically using the position she gained from grooving defensively and then launching like the first attack onto the opponent's army, basically. Didn't happen here, so you know, the groove clock has been reset, and we can we can come back in a few turns.
Yep. And you know, there's plenty of time. Like speaking of clocks, like there's plenty of time left for both players. We've got 35 minutes here for Sedgehun. What's Master looking at? 27. Oh, actually. Oh, wow. That was a big jump in time there as well. They spent a lot of time figuring out what they were going to do this turn. And oh, Sedge's Witch lives on 1%. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
I know the feeling, because every time I go for like Dragon Archer, no, I mean Mage Archer onto a Dragon, it's like I failed a coin flip. And I guess that's another coin flip that exists.
Yeah.
And a 1% Witch, you know, is probably one of the most useful units to have at 1%.
Yeah, like Witch at 1%, Mage at 1% as well. I would argue that like a Golem at 1% can be kind of like nasty as well. Because you just throw like a Mage Heal on it and it can suicide into a bunch of things.
Yep. I like how these dragons have not been that useful. I think they came out a little too late to be like this big force that we're used to them being. So right now they're just kind of sitting around waiting for a commander to be on a road, basically. And you know, going left and right, picking off like the one village, the one unit standing alone on the sides. And yeah, I mean, it's important to have a dragon on your side on this map because it denies the center to your opponent's commander. But yeah, dragon's not doing much.
Oh, well, as you say that, a dragon kills a knight, so...
Oh, well.
Sedgehun, yeah, they're gonna just go in for it. They're gonna, you know, try and do as much damage as they can. Sword goes down. Ooh, that's a scary place to put Vesper. But, oh, we're seeing Archer plus Sword combo. That spear was standing on a road, so like, that's not even a coin flip. That's guaranteed death. And, yeah, we're just gonna see Sedgehun. They're just gonna go for it. They're gonna keep pressing forwards. And it makes sense, actually, because they are I was gonna say so far ahead on Groove, but they have a Groove lead. And if they keep it up, then that means they can put themselves in a position where they'll have a really strong turn. And, oh, are we seeing Mastro go for a lethal attempt?
Yeah, I was wondering if we were gonna see lethal because when your commander is standing on plains next to roads, suicides happen.
Oh, but this is not looking good.
Yeah, no. Not sure Mastro got the rolls he wanted. Vesper was at 35% before the knight could hit, so... And now, you know what I was saying earlier?
Oh no. And there's a witch hex to like set it up as well. So like literally anything needs to hit Vesper from below. And yeah, we're gonna see it. This is lethal, absolutely guaranteed. And yeah, oh, that was even a night crit to start it up.
Overkilled by 37%.
Something like that. Yeah, that's pretty big. Oh, and Sedgehun takes it. And I think I only briefly mentioned it, but Sedgehun was up on time.
Yeah.
And I guess Mastro was just like, I'm not going to get Groove before Sedge does. I have to try and go for something here. They went for a lethal, and it didn't work out. And
Hmm.
they put a commander on the roads in doing so. So not really ideal.
Yeah. Hmm.
I wonder if I mean we can look at the replay for this, but I wonder if there was something like he threw like a 6 health sword into Vesper from the road. I wonder if there was a possibility of like dropping a mage heal on it first, just so we get a little bit more damage. Because
Well, I'm just wondering if like maybe he had a better punish onto the army than just trying to go for a lethal.
hmm,
But it's true that Sedgehun was looking like he had a slightly better position after that attack. I mean, I guess it would have depended on the counter attack from Mastro, but since he went for a failed lethal, usually after that, even without the putting Vesper on the road, the game probably would have been over.
just taking a quick look at things here, it was actually a very even game, like throughout most of it. Very back and forth on income, very back and forth on like army value. It was very close up until the end. Uh, Combat unit
Yeah.
count was pretty much even, and like groove, like only one turn of difference, but like that made, I mean, it made a big difference because aside from just forcing groove out of Mastro, and like you're right, like you can counter groove yourself and put your army in a good position, but I think most
It
people
didn't
would,
happen.
yeah, and I also think most people would prefer to have their groove available for like a situation where they want to use it rather than being forced to use it.
Hmm. That's true, although that might depend on the player, I guess.
Very
I
true.
think it favors the first player if you can get hits on like other things, like besides the commander when you do the surround. Like if you get a dragon hit onto a knight that's near the commander, then going for that play is very good because like you go up in value basically. And then you have like the leeway to step back and position defensively for basically you have the initiative and then you have you you're you can prepare yourself for the punish. And so I guess it really depends on the situation. Hmm. But looking at the charts, I think like Sedgehun was like taking over a little more control of the map compared to Mastro. Um, I guess the Archer Witch thing didn't really help Mastro that much.
Oh yeah, because then Sedge was just like, well, I'm just gonna hex your whole army, and you're gonna, because like something actually very important about that turn was that Mastro spent a lot of gold on things like mage heals and stuff, and they bought like a mage and a sword that turn, and that was it.
Hmm.
So it forced very low value buys out of Mastro for one turn. And it's never a fun position to be in when you have like 500 gold left to play with, like after you've done your turn. But well played. We're gonna go into game three. This has like been, honestly, I would say like both games have had like one person be more in the driver's seat. Sedgehun, I think this was a bit closer than like the last game, but
Yeah, yeah,
Sedgehun
but
definitely
also
felt like they were
also
in.
like this game felt closer, um, but like in the first game, you could clearly say like Mastro had a better opening. In the second game, you can't really pinpoint like one mistake or something wrong with Mastro, like that basically led him to lose. I guess it was just Sejun playing like getting small advantages here and there, and eventually he won.
Yeah, and things like the coin flip on the witch did not help. I think that was maybe not like completely defining the game, but it definitely was a moment where it's just like, well, now I need to spend something to hit this witch again at some point. And it's not fun to have like an air unit living on 1% because you have to then spend like what is most commonly going to be like a full health mage to kill it.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
So yeah, just rather unfortunate for Mastro there. But Sedgehun, they just played very solid, managed to get small lead little wins. So yeah, we're gonna go into game 3 and we're gonna see how this ends.